Welcome back. All right, so 8 games tonight. I, of course, got the other games done. The early games are all, there's a video already on the channel, so you can check that out if you're looking for the early games. That being said, let's go ahead and jump in. No further ado, because I got to do a preview after this. So, Pittsburgh in against the Philadelphia Flyers. The first matchup I've seen where it's both reverse retro night, and I honestly I thought they matched each other pretty nicely. It was Jarry versus Hart in this one. Good back and forth early. The Flyers had the first 5 shots on net. They came out of the gate. They were playing very well. Carter then had a shot that was held. The Penguins press at 5 minutes. Gensel's denied and close. Paling had a shot that was saved. It's all Penguins at this point. Rust has a rush chance that's saved, and then it's Archibald. He scores from Bluger at 11:37. He buried that one on a rush. So that makes it 1-0 Pittsburgh. The Flyers, they rush as well. They draw a power play. Strong shorthanded play by Paling. It ends up becoming a 4-on-4. Power plays, that's all killed off. Penguins press after, and at 19:29 in the final minute of the period, Crosby scores from Pettersson and Letang. It was a beautiful tip out front, and they actually had a nice video package put together after the second period showing all these tipped pucks. Like, I don't know how Hart's supposed to anticipate that. So second period, the Penguins score, but it's a high stick, so that one didn't count. And then Pettersson had a fight with Delorier, which threw me off. Apparently, Pettersson's had 6 fights in his NHL career. Delorier's had about 680. I don't know, it feels like a lot. Paling then with a nice tip in front from Bluger and Petrie at 2:59. Paling's name was on this board a lot today. Penguins press for another. The shots are 5-1 in their favor at 6 minutes. We then had a fight with McGinn versus Sealer. The Penguins come out of that with a power play. That's killed off. The Flyers would press, but then Paling gets the second of the period from Bluger and Archibald at 13:37. Yeah, Teddy Bluger with 3 assists to that point. And he buries it from the side of the net, and it went in off Hart. Hart's night was over. Sandstrom would go in. I don't know which of those I can put on Hart. Like the last one, maybe, but seriously. Pittsburgh was just playing really well. Crosby then couldn't bury one on a fast break with 42.7 or 40.2 seconds left. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. So that rolls over into the third. Nothing of note happened there. The Flyers would press at 3.5 minutes. Provorov has a shot that's saved. The shots are 6-0 for the Flyers at 5 minutes. So they come out very well in the first and the third. But it's that ability to stick with it. McEwen was given a penalty shot. That was saved by Jarry. Farabee couldn't bury one as the Flyers are pressing, but then Hayes does. He scores on a rush from Delorier and Sanheim at 10:04. Then there's a near miss by Delorier, so at least the Flyers are pushing a bit here. Flyers with momentum, but they're down by 3 with 1:52 left. However, the Flyers, a little overzealous, they take a penalty, so that's power play for the Penguins to end it. They win 4-1. They go to 11-7-3. For the Flyers, they're 7-9-5. Shots are 15-7 Pittsburgh in the first, 9-8 Pittsburgh in the second, 15-5 Philadelphia in the third. Final shots 30-29 for the Flyers. Power plays Pittsburgh 0 for 3, Philadelphia 0 for 1. The hits were 42-28 for Philadelphia. Jarry saves 29 out of 30, Hart saved 17 out of 21, and then Sandstrom saved all 8 in relief. So, pretty good day if you're a Penguins fan in this one. I know that beating the Flyers is usually something that Penguins fans look forward to. Next up. So Arizona in against Detroit. And Arizona once again proving that you just can't take your foot off the gas against them. They can hurt you. So Melka versus Husso in this one. The early jump actually went for the Coyotes. We then had a fight between McBain and Rasmussen. I can only assume that Rasmussen said, magic ticket my ass, McBain. It's what I think every time I hear McBain's name, I think Simpsons. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Because Andrew McBain, I remember from the 80s before Simpsons, but yeah, Simpsons has made McBain. Just reminds me of the show. So Coyotes go to the power play. That's killed off. The shots are 4-1 for the Coyotes at 8 minutes. The Wings get a power play. There's an aggressive Coyotes penalty kill. However, they score on it. It's Kopp on the power play from Raymond and Hronik at 12:01. Suter's then denied on a rush. The Wings press with 4 minutes left with 3:16 left. Coyotes get a power play. That was killed off. So it's 1-0 for Detroit after one. I'm aware that McBain is related to Andrew McBain. I'm aware. Second period, the Coyotes get an early press. The Wings get a power play. Perron is denied. They cycle it, and they score. It's Hronik, who continues this ridiculous scoring pace from Bergeron and Bertuzzi at 4:02. So for Detroit fans that were slamming Hronik a couple years ago about how he couldn't finish and he sucks, and I saw a lot of posts like that. I'm guessing that opinions have changed on Hronek. Coyotes having turnover issues. Gostisbehere then had a shot that was held. We get some pushing after that, but then Schmaltz scores from Chychrun at 8:32. That makes it close. And then Osterley, former Arizona Coyote, scores from Bertuzzi and Raymond at 9 minutes. And he wired that one top shelf. The Wings get a power play. That was killed off. And then before the period's out at 15:31, Mosier scores from Keller and Schmaltz. So it is 3-2. Raymond has a net feed that's intercepted in the last minute. The Wings press. Wallman's denied from the slot. He had a few opportunities there. Couldn't get one in the net. So we're going to the third with the Wings up by 1. There's an early chance for the Wings here and there. Pressed by the Wings as well at 2.5 minutes. And the Wings were doing a really good job of keeping it in the offensive zone. Larkin gets robbed. Vejmelka holds. The Wings get a power play. Hronek has a blast that's held. That was killed off. Bertuzzi couldn't bury one in close. The Coyotes get a power play with 6:12 left. That's killed off. Gunther mishandles one in close. So with 2:36 left, the Coyotes go back to the power play. They quickly turn that into a 6-on-4, and there was so much pressure, and eventually they score. At 19:34, it's Chychrun with his first of the season from Gostisbehere. That ties it up during the 6-on-5, and it's deflected in. We go to overtime. The Wings control early. Krause fires one wide on a 2-on-1. The Wings have a 2-on-1 as well. That's broken up. Kopp fires one wide on a rush. Kubalik has a shot that's held. We're going to the shootout. And in the shootout, it is Dylan Larkin that gets the winner. Your final score is 4-3 in a shootout for the Wings. They go to 10, or 11, I should say, 5-4. For the Coyotes, they're 7-9-3, and they're hanging in there, right? This road trip's going on forever, but they're hanging in there. So the shots in this one, 11-8 Detroit in the first, 12-8 Detroit in the second, 9-6 Detroit in the third. In the overtime, 4-2 in favor of the Wings. Final shots, 36-24 for Detroit. Power plays, Arizona 0-4, Detroit 2-4. Hits, 24-17 for Arizona. Vejmelka, good night for him. 33 saves on 36 shots. Husso saves 21 out of 24 at the other end. And there you go. Coyotes get themselves another point. The Islanders in against the Columbus Blue Jackets. So for the Islanders, pretty decent game here. There was a lot less reverse retros in the evening games than there was in the early games. So it was Sorokin versus Korpisalo in this one. Early power play for Columbus. Roslovic's denied on a fast break. That was the only shot that was accomplished on that power play for Columbus. The Islanders get a power play. That's killed off. The Islanders press with 9 minutes left. A blast by Romanov is saved by Korpisalo. There's a near miss for Nyquist. But before the period's out at 17:26, Wallstrom scores from Holmstrom and Barzal. So it's 1-0 in favor of the Islanders after one. Second period, Dobson has a blast that's saved, and the early presses were by the Islanders. Columbus presses back at 3.5 minutes. They end up getting a power play. That was killed off, managed one shot. The Islanders get a power play. Too many power plays at this point in the game. Dobson fires one wide. They cycle, and eventually they get it. It's Pajot at 7:51 on the power play from Dobson and Barzal. Bailey was then denied. The shots are 5 apiece at the halfway mark. Early whistle causes some boos there. Sorokin didn't have it, but it happens. The referee loses sight of the puck. They're supposed to blow the whistle. We then had a fight between Lee and Olivier, which surprised me a bit, but at least Lee dropped the gloves. The Islanders come out with the power play on that. That was killed off, just the one shot. Refs discuss a boarding call. What ends up happening is Columbus ends up with a 5-on-3. So it's two calls on the same play. That's why the officials had to get together and discuss it. And 5-on-3, Columbus scores. Chinakhov from Goudreau and Johnson at 14:05. So that's what it takes to defeat Sorokin and the wall that he is. And then during the 5-on-4, they score again. It's Kent Johnson to get a goal to go with his assist from Bjork and Goudreau at 14:38. So Goudreau with a couple of helpers, and the game is now tied at 2. Islanders with a brief press. Korpisalo saves. We go to the third period. Good early back and forth. The shots are 3-0 for Columbus at 4 minutes. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4, and during that 4-on-4, Nelson scores to put the Islanders in the lead. That's at 6:10, and it's during the 4-on-4, and he roofed it. The Islanders get a power play. There was a post for Barzal. That's killed off. Columbus gets some pressure after that. With 44 seconds left, Columbus calls a timeout. Whatever was discussed, it doesn't matter. The Islanders win this one 3-2. They go to 14-8 with the win. For Columbus, they're 7-12-1 with the loss. The shots in this one, 8-5 Islanders in the first, 11-9 Columbus in the second, and 10-7 Columbus in the third. Final shots, 26-24 for the Blue Jackets. Power plays, the Islanders 1 for 4, Columbus 2 for 4. Like I said, 5 on 3, and then 5 on 4. Hits 27 to 22 for Columbus. Sorokin saved 24 out of 26. He was excellent again. Korpisalo saves 21 out of 24. So, that aside, the next game is New Jersey and Buffalo. And I have to say, Buffalo played a pretty good game here. But with Buffalo, we've seen that with Tampa Bay and Carolina. It kind of reminds me of that. When they had good games against teams, but they lost, right? So it's Schmid versus Anderson. I keep wanting to say Schmid, but it's Schmid versus Anderson. He sure has a rush chance that deflects out. The shots are 5-0 New Jersey at 5 minutes. They came out very well, and Anderson was keeping him off the board. He's the reason it's scoreless. Sabres get a power play. Skinner was denied. That's killed off. Sabres press with 3.5 minutes left, but after the first period, it's scoreless, which is just fine with Buffalo. At 2 minutes, one-timer on a rush gives New Jersey the lead. It's Hughes from Mercer and Howla. The Devils had a 2-on-1 then that set up a press. Tuck has a net feed that's blocked, and then New Jersey makes it 2-0. It's Boquist from Sharangovich at 5:47. The Sabres press for an answer. The shots are 11-6 for the Devils at 8.5 minutes. The Devils are back to just swarming tons of shots. Wood fires one wide on a rush. However, on a fast break, it's Olofsson scoring from Middlestad and Jokiharju at 14-19. So the reverse retro-clad Buffalo Sabres make it 2-1. And after Olofsson scores, his goal song, because in Buffalo everybody gets their own goal song, is Gimme, Gimme, Gimme by ABBA. And if you know the lyrics, it's really funny that a guy would choose that for a goal song. Hats off to him. Seriously, that's a great goal song. That's right up there. It's Raining Men is the only one that I think could possibly top that. But anyways, Gimme, Gimme, Gimme. It's a fun song anyways. So yeah, Sabres press for the tie. Things get pushy after a hold by Schmid. Tatar then restores the 2-goal lead. He scores from Hischier and Brad at 17:55. Okposo then had an opportunity in close. He couldn't bury there. It's 3-1 after 2. Third period. Hischier has a rush chance that's defended. The Sabres press, but the Devils are blocking him out. We get a post for Okposo. The Devils had a 3-on-1. That draws them a power play. 2-pad stack on a save on Wood. Nice highlight reel save there by Anderson. That's killed off. The Devils press after. Wood had a rush chance that was saved. The Devils press. Devils are relentless in this game at this point as well. It's just wave after wave after wave. Hughes has a turnover chance. That was snagged. Olofsson has a chance that's held. The goalie gets pulled with 3 minutes left. The Sabres push Schmid into the net, so no goal there. They had opportunities late. They got a lot of shots late. And yeah, the puck wasn't covered either with Schmid there, so I mean, did the whistle go early? Probably. But again, once a referee loses sight of the puck, he's supposed to blow the whistle. New Jersey wins this one 3-1. They start a new winning streak. They go to 17-4 on the season. Buffalo, again, wearing those snazzy reverse retros, are now 9-12. These shots, 16-7 New Jersey in the first, 20-14 New Jersey in the second, and actually 13-8 in favor of Buffalo in the third period. Final shots are 44-34 for New Jersey. Power plays, both teams go 0 for 1. The hits were 23-15 for Buffalo. Schmid saves 33 out of 34. Where did he come from? Anderson saves 41 out of 44. So, yeah, the New Jersey Devils resume their excellent play, and they're on another winning streak. Next up, St. Louis, right? So, St. Louis Blues win 3, lose 8, win 7. Now they've lost 2. Here we are. So, it's Bennington versus Vasilevsky. There's an early press by Tampa. We had a fight then between Barbashev and Perry. Pretty good tilt there. Point would score from Hagel and Kucherov at 3:29. And they enjoyed that goal so much in the celebration, they wanted another one. So 28 seconds later, Killorn scores from Paul and Stamkos on a strong forecheck. Nick Paul is putting up points at a rate he never has in his career. I don't know if he's going to end up with 60 points or more, but it really looks like Nick Paul's going to put up tremendous point totals this year. Blues call a timeout, and then immediately after that timeout, there's a break for point. So Berube probably not happy with things tonight. Bortuzzo gets 5 minutes for goalie interference. They review it. They drop it to 2 minutes instead, and it's actually a 4-on-4 because there was a penalty being called as well on Tampa Bay. Bolts get a power play. They score on it. It's Braden Point on the power play from Kucherov and Sergachev at 8:04. So Braden Point with 2 goals in the first period, and it's 3-0. Shots are 10-3 for Tampa Bay with 8 minutes left. So Tampa Bay has as many goals at that stage as St. Louis has shots. Blues get a power play. They score on it. It's Buchnevich on the power play from Thomas and Kyrou at 16:50. Thomas and Kyrou have started really picking up their play lately. And so after the first period, it's 3-1 for Tampa. Early press by the Blues in the second period. They would end up getting a power play. There's a shorthanded rush from Chernak that helps to kill that off. And then far corner under the blocker, Kyrou scores. So he gets a goal to go with his assist. Thomas and Buchnevich with the assists at 6:24. Point then fires one wide on a rush, but that sets things up for Hagel to bury it from Kucherov and Point at 6:42. So it felt like every time St. Louis got a little bit of hope, it was snuffed out by Tampa Bay tonight. Sergachev has a shot that's blocked. The Blues press with 6 minutes left. Tampa Bay gets a power play. That's killed off, just the one shot. Near miss for Hedman then as the Bolts press. And with a 1:05 left, the Blues get a power play. So there's 55 seconds left of that going into the third period. And the Bolts finish the kill. Paul had a rush chance that was defended. And the shots are 4-0 St. Louis at 6.5 minutes. You could sense in this game that if St. Louis got that third goal, right, that third goal could be huge. O'Reilly has a rush chance that's defended. The goalie pull happens early. At 16:12, the empty net is filled early by Paul from Killorn and Stamkos. So Tampa Bay wins this one 5-2. They're playing very well. They're 12-7-1. St. Louis is 10-10 on the season now, so they're right at 500. The shots in this one, 13-10 Tampa in the first, 10-9 Tampa in the second, 8-4 St. Louis in the third. Final shots are 27-27. Power play St. Louis 1 for 3. Tampa Bay 1 for 2. Hits 36-29 in favor of Tampa Bay. Bennington saves 22 out of 26. Vasilevsky saves 25 out of 27. So there you go. Now I need to change boards. All right, so Seattle. So probably the most surprising result tonight. And I have to say, the Seattle Kraken are playing really, really well. It's Grubauer versus Hill. There's an early press by Vegas, but Seattle opens the scoring. It's Donato from Larson and Gord at 2:40. That one's buried in close by Donato, who's heating up. Kraken get a power play. That's killed off, but the shots are 6-2 in favor of Seattle at 7 minutes. Burakovsky then makes it 2-0 from Larson and Schwartz at 8 minutes. Vegas would then get a power play. Kessel has a net feed. That's tipped out. But as the power play is coming to an end, Raw scores before it's done from Carlson and Theodore at 10:46. And then at 12:50, Kessel ties it from Theodore. So after the first period, it's a 2-2 game. And again, with Vegas, whenever they're down, I don't assume that that's it because they're very good at coming back. Second period, White Cloud, not on the bench. He would return, though. Early press by Vegas. The shots are 2 apiece at 5 minutes. And then at 5:22, Burakovsky puts Seattle back in the lead from Alexiak and Schultz. So, yeah, he was allowed to walk in and wire it. So that was some poor defensive coverage by Vegas. Kraken gets a power play. That's killed off. Theodore is robbed in close. McCann has a shot that's held. Theodore then has a blast that's saved as Vegas presses. But then, Eberle, he would score from Beniers at 18:46. So Beniers on the board increases his high total for points for rookies in the NHL. Burakovsky then went for the hat trick. He wouldn't get it, but I don't think he's upset. Your score after 2 periods, 4-2 Seattle. But the big test is the third period. Vegas really has done a very good job in third periods. Early press by the Kraken, though, in the third. Puck to the jaw on Bjorkstrand. That looked like it hurt. I kind of got a chuckle when they said, well, at least he jumped up and skated off the ice. And I thought, well, it's his jaw. It's not his foot. Skating off doesn't mean he's not hurt. Alexiak's then denied. Vegas clears it out. The shots are 1-0 for the Kraken at 5.5 minutes. It's noteworthy because Vegas, at home, no shots, 5.5 minutes into the third period. White Cloud then had a shot that was kicked aside as Vegas is getting some pressure. Eberle steals it. His shot was held. The Kraken press with 2.5 minutes left. There was no room in the middle for Vegas. They played a Vegas game in Vegas. Goalie pull with 1 minute and 45 seconds left. They were trying before that. Seattle kept getting the puck and preventing it from happening. Pietrangelo has a shot that's tipped wide, but I never really got the feeling Vegas had the momentum to tie this up. The final score is 4-2. Seattle goes to 12-5-3. These guys are fantastic. For Vegas, they're 16-5-1 on the season with the loss. I know Vegas has had some setbacks lately, but they still have 33 points. They're still tops in the division. The shots in this one, 9 apiece in the first, 12-7 Seattle in the second, and most impressively, 7-6 Seattle in the third. Final shots are 28-22 for the Kraken. Power plays, Seattle 0 for 2, Vegas 1 for 1. Hits were 29-28 in favor of Seattle. Grubauer saved 20 out of 22. They protected him very well. He didn't face a lot of really, really difficult shots. This continues Seattle's run of just making sure there aren't shots that, you know, the energy level in the game doesn't reach that stage where you're going to get 4, 5, 6 really good opportunities against each period. Hill, 24 saves on 28 shots. So Seattle is playing like a really well-coached team. So while people don't like Dave Haxtell in general, I think he needs some credit for the fact this team's 12-5-3. If they make the playoffs, he's going to get votes for Coach of the Year. I know. All right. Next up. So Winnipeg in against Dallas. Wouldn't it be like a laugh riot if the finalists for the award included Haxtell and Lindy Ruff for Coach of the Year? Think about it. All right. So Winnipeg and Dallas. Hellebuck versus Ottinger. Early press by the Stars, but the Jets open the scoring. It's Perfetti from Wheeler and Schmidt at 132. That lead doesn't last. Wyatt Johnston scores from Ben and Delandry at 158. That's his 5th goal overall. It's the first one he scored at home. The Stars then press for the lead. However, the Jets get it. At 5:46, it's Harkins from Lowry. It was a one-timer. It was a really good forecheck by Lowry. The Stars get a power play, and they score on it. At 8:27, it's Ben from Robertson and Heiskanen. Robertson's putting up so many points. And he roofs the rebound. So nice play there by Ben. Again, playing some of his best hockey in a long time. Perfetti was then denied on a rush. The Jets press with 2:26 left. The Stars get a power play. Ben has a chance to save. That power play's killed off. It's 2-2 after 1. Second period. Early Jets power play. Dallas kills that off. Shots are 3-0 for Winnipeg at 4 minutes. The Jets press at 4.5 minutes. The Stars score, but the Jets say it hit the netting. On review, it shows that it did. And when all the players, including the goaltender, are pointing at the netting and they stop playing, I understand Robertson bearing it and going, fine, nobody else is going to play it, I'll play it. Play to the whistle. But yeah, I knew that wasn't going to count. Jets press at 7 minutes. Delandry is denied on a rush. And then Lowry would score from Janssen Fjallby at 8:04. He buries that one in close. Lowry's playing really well right now. Perfetti's then denied on a turnover. There's another giveaway that leads to the Jets pressing. I don't know. I watched Boston turn it over a bunch today and now Dallas. So more Stars turnovers happen after the Jets get a power play, and that was killed off by Dallas. Connor has a shot that's held in the final minute. But we go to the third period with the score 3-2 for the Jets. The shots are 2-1 for the Stars at 4.5 minutes. The Stars would get a power play. During that, there was a crossbar for Gurianov. Then the clock was behind, so they take forever to fix it. When the clock's fixed, magically, there's no more power play time left. Jets press at the half. Eventually, on a rush, Connor would score from Dubois and DeMello at 11:21. So that makes it a 4-2 game. Stars press with 5 minutes left, with 4:19 left. The Stars get a power play. Heiskanen has a shot that's saved. The Stars turn it over, but hey, you know, that happens. Johnston's denied. The power play's killed off. And then Robertson scores from Heiskanen and Sagan at 17:48. And then the controversy. Now, I'm a Dallas fan. I've been a Dallas fan for a long time. This goal, in my opinion, should not have counted. I'm going to say why. So, Robertson ends up scoring from Sagan and Pavelski at 19:41. And at the time, Hellebuck's down. Now, Hellebuck gets bumped by Jamie Benn. He was pushed in by Morrissey. Now, I understand that they looked at it and they said no goaltender interference because Morrissey pushes Ben into the goaltender. However, the helmet was off. The goaltender was down on the ice. 99 times out of 100, they will blow the whistle in that situation. And so looking at it on the replay, I thought, you know, the goalie's without his helmet and he's down, face down on the ice. They will always blow the whistle there, right? The review is done with Toronto, and Toronto says good goal. So it counts, and it forces overtime. And I'm conflicted because I'm still saying that goal shouldn't have counted. And it's weird because I did the video earlier today. But what I'm saying is not for goalie interference, but because there should have been a stoppage. Now, the other thing I'll say is this. If anybody's saying, well, why didn't Winnipeg challenge? Because it's already been reviewed. And my guess is that if Rick Bowness had challenged it, they still would have said, nope, there's no stoppage that was missed. We knew the goaltender was down. And then that's a power play for Dallas. And they look dangerous on their power plays. They already had one power play goal on the night. So we went to overtime, and on a fast break early, Morrissey ends it. Wheeler with the assist at 33 seconds. Justice served in the end. Winnipeg wins this one 5-4. They go to 12-6-1. For Dallas, they drop to 12-5-4, wearing their really spiffy reverse retros. So the shots in this one, 14-10 Dallas in the first, 11-8 Winnipeg in the second, 19-6 Dallas in the third. Dallas is excellent when they're behind in the third. They need to stop being behind in the third. The shots in the overtime, just the one for Winnipeg, the one that matters. Final shots, 41-28 Dallas. Power plays, Winnipeg 0 for 2. Dallas 1 for 4. The hits, 24-23 for Dallas. Hellebuck saves 37 out of 41. Ottinger saves 23 out of 28. And again, I think the right team wins this game because of that goal that just, I thought, man, if Dallas wins this, I wouldn't feel great about that. And I mean that. Because I even went upstairs and talked to my wife about it because she was watching it on TV upstairs, and we agreed that goal should not count. All right, last game of the night, LA in against San Jose. So it was Quick versus Reimer, and of course the Sharks wearing their spiffy Seals throwbacks. The one thing with Seals jerseys, the Seals didn't win very many games when they won them either, or wore them either. So Kempe scores on the first shot, but it's reviewed, it's offside. Sharks get a power play. Meyer has a blast that's held. That's killed off. Quick then denies Meyer. Timo Meyer was all around the net tonight. Shots are 7-2 for the Sharks at 6 minutes. Kings then get a power play. That was killed off. But Anderson Dolan, who had himself a game tonight, he scores from Lizotte and Doughty at 8:55. The Sharks would try to answer. Arvidsson with a near miss on a rebound opportunity at the Sharks net. And then LeBanc would tie it from Meyer and Hurdle at 13:02. Lizotte has a chance to deflect high. The Kings get a power play and they score on it. At 17:54, it's Danault scoring from Arvidsson and Dursey. So it's 2-1 for LA after the first period. Second period, Kings press at 3 minutes. Magna had a shot that deflects wide. Arvidsson would then put the Kings up by 2 from Fiala and Dursey at 4:39. And it went underneath the arm, kind of through Reimer. Reimer was shaky tonight for most of the game. And I mean, I'm watching the Kings feed on this, so obviously they're going to talk a little more about it. But he was shaky, which is weird because he's coming off a pretty good game. Kings press for another. Anderson Dolan had a rush chance that was held. The shots are 7-2 LA at the half. The Sharks had very little going until they got some pressure with 7.5 minutes left. Quick held on there. Best shift by the Sharks, I would say, through... I mean, definitely in that period, there were a couple of good shifts in the first, but I thought they had a really good shift there. Svechnikov's denied as the Sharks get some more pressure with 4:41 left. The Sharks get a power play. That was killed off. But then Sean Dursey with just a bad turnover. It goes to Barabanov. He puts it in the net at 19:23. That makes it a 3-2 game as we get towards the end of that second period. Third period, the Kings were 8-1 leading after 2 periods. Early press by the Kings. Eventually they would score. And this one went through Reimer on a rush. It's Kupari from Anderson, Dolan, and Kaliev at 2:51. And the Kings resume their stifling defense at that stage. Hurdle had a chance to deflect it out. The Sharks would press at 9 minutes. There's a power play for the Sharks with 5:38 left. It becomes a 6-on-4 with 4:05 left as they pull the goaltender. Hurdle has a shot that deflects high, and eventually it's an empty net goal at 17:32 for Kopitar from Kempe. So LA makes it 5-2. That's your final score. They go to 12-9-2 with the win. The Sharks drop to 7-13-3 with the loss. The shots in this one, 10 apiece in the first, 10-9 LA in the second, 13-9 San Jose in the third. Final shots were actually 32-29 for the Sharks. Power plays, LA 1 for 2, San Jose 0 for 3. The hits, 32-23 for San Jose. Quick saves 28 out of 30. Reimer saves 24-28. And again, had a shaky night in that net, but it does happen. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.